Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Coram and Carson here with a quick rundown of what went down in the stock market today, or should I say what went up? What was up with the stock market today, Ed?
Yeah, this was a roller coaster that went closed on a high note. I want to talk about three stocks in or around buy points: WillScot Mini, and On Holding, and Microsoft.
This is also a test of your memory, Ed, so you
That's
passed.
pretty much it.
And let's get to it with first a look at the market action today. So the Nasdaq closing up 1.9% to lead the day, followed by the S&P 500 up 1.3%. We also had the Dow up 0.8% and the Russell 2000 up 0.7%. So we were working on a couple day pullback after reaching some really high levels in such a quick pace, Ed. But things were quiet before Powell spoke, not so quiet after. And like you said, ending on a high note.
Yeah, so that was positive. The market certainly seems to want to go, because whenever we get mixed messages, the market says that's positive. It's a very much a glass half full market. Nice to see that we're still in this recent range. And it wouldn't be bad to see it go a little longer to get some handles, because there were some things that moved out with two-day pullbacks, not really offering handles. But got to say, this is the market shows a lot of strength, a lot of good things about this market.
Yeah, I think the question now for investors to really grapple with is, clearly we don't want to fight the market trend, just like we didn't want to fight the bear market trend. This market is a strong market, but that doesn't mean that we should be chasing extended stocks. So where does that leave us?
I mean, sometimes you just have to wait and wait with what you have, or wait for things to set up. I mean, don't chase them. I mean, David Ryan was saying today that a lot of the money's in waiting. You got to be waiting. You don't need to always be trading. Don't buy extended. Don't buy early. Don't feel like you have to constantly be doing stuff. So, wait for those setups still.
Well said there. We'll just quickly look around at the other major indexes. Here's the S&P, a strong day as well. The 0DJIA, that'll get the Dow for us here on MarketSmith. IWM shows small cap, so a nice upside reversal there. And let's also take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, the reaction there, reversing higher today, Ed. So what does this mean if we can see, stocks up big when we see yields up?
Yeah, it's impressive. And the connection is a little bit less. So a little bit of just maybe a sense that we're not going to go into recession. So some of that's a positive. But yeah, again, the market just keeps on defying things that might have tripped it up in last year.
Quick look around at some sectors. Here's XLE. Finally, an update today, up 3.2% with some market outperformance there. Also, SMH, how did chips fare today? Also quite well, up 3%. ARKK, so speculative growth stocks, not as strong as chips and oil and gas stocks, but still up 1.7% for the day. Not quite as strong as the Nasdaq Composite, but more or less feels like we're swimming in the right direction at least. And now let's take a look at some names underneath the surface. As you mentioned, your buy points. This stock surely strengthened throughout the day, Ed. I had a trend line alert that went off this morning, but it was hitting some resistance. But looks like, especially after Powell, clearly that helped fuel broad market gains, including for WillScot Mini here with a gain of 3.6% in above average trade with 2 weeks due. 2 weeks until earnings are due, rather.
Yeah, this has been a strong performer. I mean, this has a base on base on base, which in a strong market, sometimes you go like, oh, that's boring. But you can see the relative strength in that period too, how it kept on moving. It didn't fall when the rest of the market did. A lot of performance here. I mean, okay, they storage solutions, all this thing. How boring can that be? Well, look at those earnings. Those are not very boring earnings. And they're still supposed to have decent growth next year. There's a lot to like about this one. You make just as much money with this stock as you do, the money's still made the same, no matter, even if it doesn't seem like an exciting stock, this one's doing well.
Yeah, and I mean, it has exposure to the building theme, the industrial theme as well. So you could think about it in terms of that thematic space as well. We can also take a look at on Here's a look at the weekly chart first, down almost 4% so far for the week, but finding support at its 21-day line today. Looks like the closing range was at 65%, so definitely closing in the upper half of the range here. And actually, this is what we want to see for on. We were wanting to see a pullback after this strong move, and if it can hold right around this 21-day line, that's great. I mean, that would be a handle forming here and even an early entry for aggressive investors if it can bounce off of this level.
Yeah, I mean, you get a bit of a shakeout, undercut the 21-day line, but not really, not scary, not that scary. It's sort of like a jump scare. It quickly bounced back. This is, yeah, if it had gone to a breakout, it would have looked extended. It's run up a lot. It could use several days. So on a daily or a weekly, this looks fine. This looks healthy. It doesn't, now, of course, it might end up falling all the way back down. It's not a guarantee, because if it was a guarantee, we'd say buy it now.
Right.
But this is what you want to be seeing. You watch and you wait. And this is looking very positive right now.
Yeah, tie up those laces, get on the starting block, but wait for the gun to go off. All right, let's take a look at Microsoft MSFT. Up strongly today, over 4%, heavy volume. This one's continuing to turn around. I guess, one could consider this continuing to break out from a bottoming base here, continuing above the 200-day line or the 40-week line. It is clearing this trend line on the weekly chart. Does have that solid track record of earnings growth. That's very stable here, but this is getting a boost from ChatGPT AI and its involvement there.
I mean, that's been going on for a little bit, but today they announced, hey, we're integrating it into our Bing search engine. So maybe that can, if nothing else, maybe get people to check out Bing again, which most people do not. And so that's interesting how that's going. So, and then you can buy this as sort of a long-term leader, perhaps. It is an AR arms race, and so it may not, maybe that people have to spend a ton of money just to stay where you are, because Google is going to be doing the same thing. It made a nice move. Baidu broke out today on its chat thing. So this is the future here. I mean, it broke out. It's pretty extended and everything, but it had made a big move. So definitely there's some new going on in Microsoft. I don't know how much it hits the bottom line. Microsoft is an enormous company. So a few $100 million in incremental gains, how much is that really? But it's certainly putting some excitement into this stock.
Yes, the promise of AI, quite compelling, and some entertaining stuff floating around on social media
yes,
with what people are telling ChatGPT to do. Or Dan, its alter ego, apparently. All right, everyone, that is it for today. Make sure you check out leaderboard.investors.com if you are a subscriber or trialist, because we're going to be heading over there now to do our monthly scorecard webinar. So I will see you over there. It's going to be starting in about 10 minutes from now. And it'll be great to talk about monthly performance for January and where we're headed, and looking forward to answering your questions as well. So we'll see you there, and we'll see you back tomorrow morning on IBD Live, investors.com/IBD Live for all the details on our daily morning live stream. See you there, everyone. Have a great evening.